Thanks for coming to check out this very, very brief walkthrough of the Animated Notation Workshop 2.0 beta version. So what we have here is a browser-based notational, compositional, improvisational performance environment built with p5.js. And as you can see, there's a lot of things going on here in the screen. So a number of windows with scrolling attack lines, a bunch of strange-looking notational items over on the left, and on the right, you see all of the different types of menu options. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen and just start from scratch very briefly just to talk about how this might work. Okay, so first things first, let's say I have one player. I could make a window here and resize that window. So now I have this scrolling attack line. And I could put an object in there or a notational symbol in there, such as this. Now this might mean 4 notes in a row, ... something like that. Could add some more notes, maybe a little higher. Maybe that refers to 4 pitches that are a bit higher than the first 4, etc. We could drop something in there like this. This might mean you are picking one of 4 different sounds based on what sound is emerging at the moment that the line crosses it, etc., etc. These could all be interpreted in a variety of ways. Now, if we have more players, we can just bring out more of these windows, and we can overlap these windows if we wanted to make things a bit more complicated, for example. Okay, so now these are having the potential to overlap potentially based on the different speeds of these. But I could also add some other notational symbols in here. So for example, let's bring in the thunderstorm, whatever that might mean, and maybe the rainstorm up a bit higher. So this is happening earlier in the cycle, where this is happening later in the cycle. Let's add another window for another player. Let's overlap with that rainstorm. And let's bring something in there like this mesh object, whatever we decide that means. This swarm object, something like that. Okay, so we're organizing the flow of information by time and theoretically by space as well. Okay, from left to right and top to bottom, depending on how the user decides to interact with these different notational sources. Let's try a couple more things here. Now, let's say we want to have this one running somewhat independently. We just won't let it overlap with anything. And let's put some flourishes in there. So I'll grab this one. And maybe some of these kind of sparkly notation will indicate something towards the end. Kind of double those up. And we could think about different ways of combining these different notations. So for example, maybe taking the wavy staff line, whoops, like this. Okay. So maybe we're interpreting now this kind of sparkly note heads in a different way because those are there. We could also decide to get rid of some things like so. Add elements like crescendos, decrescendos, etc. So very brief run through of the Animated Notation Workshop. Consider this a sandbox of notational and compositional exploration with a lot of ideas for future development. Great. So thank you so much.